Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Kom OMG. The next travel vlog is ready. This time I have come to Egypt. I will be sailing across the Nile River on a cruise ship for a week straight. Did you know that the Nile River cuts across 11 countries in Africa and is one of the longest rivers in the world? I just can't wait to start this journey. Come, let me give you a tour of the cruise. This is the sun deck. You can come up here to relax and enjoy the open nature of Egypt. There's even a pool here. This is the lounge. You can come here to enjoy the peace and quiet while doing your work. There are even games in the corner. Quite often, shows like Gulabia Party, Nubian Show, and belly dancing happen here. This is the restaurant. You come here to get your meals. The Karnak Temple was, at its peak, the largest and most important religious complex in ancient Egypt. The most significant structure and the largest religious building ever built is the Temple of Amun-Ra, considered to be where that god lived on earth with his wife Mut and son Khonsu, who also have temples at the site. The original temple was destroyed and partially restored by Hatshepsut, although another pharaoh built around it in order to change the focus or orientation of the sacred area. There are hieroglyphics everywhere, including the ceiling. How did the ancient Egyptians reach those places? After all, ladders weren't invented yet. The ancient Egyptians used something called a mud ramp, which is basically a pile of mud that they stood on to reach the higher areas. Once they finished one row, they lowered the height of the mud ramp as it was covering the area meant for the next row. Like this, they slowly carved out an entire wall. Next question is how they were able to calculate the exact size of the wall in order to make the carvings fit. They used a grid on a paper in which they drew all their carvings. Like this, they divided the wall into squares and measured which size would fit perfectly using the help of their previously drawn artwork. This is the second tallest obelisk in the world and the tallest one in Egypt, being 29 meters tall. The tallest obelisk in the world, of height 32 meters, is in Italy. Hold on, what's an obelisk? To ancient Egyptians, the obelisk was a monument built to show their deep respect to commemorate the dead, representing their kings and honoring their gods. Dating back to 1392 BCE, the temple was built on the east bank of the Nile River and is dedicated to the deities Mut, Khonsu, and Amun. Its construction was begun by Pharaoh Amenhotep III and was completed by Pharaoh Tutankhamun. Containing 10 sections, Luxor Temple is massive. The active Abu Haggag Mosque is located within the temple, standing on the ancient columns themselves. That part of the Luxor Temple was converted to a church by the Romans in 395 AD and then to a mosque around 1200 AD, which is more than 4,000 years of continuous religious worship. To get to our next archaeological site, we took a horse carriage, which was a 15-minute ride. The driver allowed me to sit in front. Can you believe that? He was so kind that he even gave me an opportunity to drive the horse. The Edfu Temple was built on the land believed to have witnessed the greatest battle in the history of the ancient Egyptian mythology between the powers of good and evil in the image of the ancient Egyptian gods of Horus and Seth. It is the most preserved temple in all of Egypt and one of the last temples to ever be built in the history of ancient Egypt that stands as a final symbol of the brilliance, honor, and glory of the ancient Egyptian heritage. Let me summarize the story for you. Isis, the god of healing and magic, and Osiris, the god of the underworld, were a happy couple. They had a son, Horus, the god of good and victory. Osiris had a brother, Seth, who was the god of war, chaos, and storms. He was upset because his brother always got all the good things like all fertile things, while he got bad things like desert only. So he decided to kill Osiris. He tricked Osiris into stepping into a coffin and threw it into the Nile River along with his friends, knowing that he wouldn't be able to survive. It took years for Isis to find his body, but at long last she did. As the god of healing and magic, she healed Osiris back to life. After that, Seth killed Osiris again, but this time he cut his body into 14 different pieces and hid them in the 14 different states of Egypt. He forcefully married Isis too, and so Isis wanted her son to take revenge. Since then, Isis was too busy finding Osiris's body parts and was unable to take care of Horus. So, Hathor, the god of motherhood, helped Horus grow up and trained him to kill Seth at Isis's wish. Eventually, Seth did die and all of Osiris's body parts were found. The Kom Ombo Temple is a double temple, meaning that it is perfectly divided between two gods. Much of the temple has been destroyed by the Nile, earthquakes, and later builders who'd used its stones for other projects. The first part of the Kom Ombo Temple was built during the reign of Ptolemy the 6th Philometor. It was expanded by Ptolemy the 8th Euergetes and completed by Ptolemy the 12th Auletes. The god of this temple has been nominated by the people of ancient Egypt to be the god of medicine, as he did many good things in the terms of medicine. These hieroglyphics show the procedure, quantity of medicine needed, and the tools to be used for a particular operation. This was the ancient Egyptians' calendar. In 1 year, there were 3 seasons, each having 4 months. Each month consisted of 3 weeks, whereas each week had 10 days. The crocodile was said to be the god of water and could act as a symbol of pharaonic power and strength. So, the ancient Egyptians worshipped them. They would pick one crocodile from the Nile River to be god and would keep it in a lake near the temple. When that crocodile died, they would mummify it and store it in the museum. They would also pick another crocodile to be god. This went on until the Roman period ended, which was 350 CE.